I'm about to say something wild, but it's true. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has felt totally broken for years, and not by accident. Marvel meant for it to be this way. We've been drowning in grief, trauma, and anti-heroes barely holding it together. And then came Thunderbolts, the most dysfunctional team yet. But what if all that pain was building to something? What if Marvel was breaking us, so the Fantastic Four could be the ones to put it all back together? Let's find out and welcome to Heroscope. Let's be real, Phase 4 and beyond has felt like one long therapy session with superpowers. Ever since Endgame, the MCU has shifted from "we're saving the world" to "please help." I haven't emotionally recovered from 2012. And honestly, same.
How did he get out of the wormhole?
Just look at the core characters driving this post-blip era. Yelena Belova, one of the most lethal assassins on Earth who uses sarcasm like a shield and still hasn't fully processed Natasha's death. Her entire view of heroism is built on lies, manipulation, and childhood trauma.
Such a poser.
Then there's Bucky Barnes, a 100-year-old ex-assassin who's trying to do penance for decades of brainwashed murder. He literally carried a notebook full of people to apologize to. We watched him stare down nightmares, eat sad takeout, and flinch every time someone said trigger words.
Wait, how old are you?
106.
And don't forget John Walker, the government's attempt at a new Cap that blew up spectacularly. This man went from military honor to murder by shield in record time. These are not the wide-eyed idealists of Phase 1. These are survivors, soldiers, people dragged through hell and trying to stitch themselves back together in public. And that's been the point. The entire tone of the MCU post-Endgame has been about aftermath, about picking up the emotional rubble. Whether it's grief, WandaVision, trauma, Moon Knight, or lost identity, Loki, every character has been on the edge of a breakdown. The Avengers were once a team of legends. Now, we've had a lineup of moral ambiguity, nervous breakdowns, and group chats that require therapy. And right in the middle of all that pain, Marvel gives us the Thunderbolts. A team made up entirely of people with unresolved trauma, questionable motives, and the trust dynamics of a raccoon in a trash fire. This was not an accident.
I have a plan.
You've got a plan.
Yes.
It's Marvel showing us just how messy heroism can get when the world falls apart. But here's the thing. Sometimes you need to hit rock bottom before you can rebuild. And that's where the Fantastic Four come in. So, if you think the MCU's been stuck in a therapy spiral, don't go anywhere. Because what comes next isn't just another team. It's the first real family, and it might save everything. The Thunderbolts aren't a team. Let's just say it out loud. They're a disaster support group held together with sarcasm, resentment, and duct tape. Start with Red Guardian. He's basically the Soviet Union's answer to Captain America if Cap had a dad bod, unresolved glory days, and was constantly trying to impress his emotionally distant daughter.
This still fits.
Yelena, for her part, spends most of her time rolling her eyes so hard it's a miracle she doesn't get a concussion. She wants connection, but every time it gets close, she pushes it away. Classic, I'm fine energy. Then there's Ghost. She's been phasing out of reality for so long, it's like she forgot how to have human interaction. Touch, emotions, small talk, hard pass. And Sentry? Oh boy. He's not just powerful, he's unstable in a way that makes Hulk look like a yoga instructor. He's dealing with the Void, a physical embodiment of all his self-hatred. Imagine your inner demons. But they punch holes in mountains. The mission? Reportedly, it's not about stopping a villain, it's about saving Sentry from himself. That's right, this team's endgame is group therapy with explosions.
I'm always angry.
And just when you think it couldn't get more tragic, rumor has it they try to brand themselves as the new Avengers. They're imposters in every sense. Pretending to be heroes, pretending to be a team, pretending they even like each other. But that's exactly why they're important. Marvel built the Thunderbolts to show us what it looks like when everything that once held the MCU together, trust, friendship, shared purpose, completely falls apart. They're not the next Avengers, they're a cautionary tale. So when the Fantastic Four show up, they don't just look shiny and new, they feel like a rescue, a family that actually works. The MCU isn't just setting the stage for the next team-up, it's staging a full-blown intervention. Because, after watching heroes fall apart, we're finally ready to watch them come together. Okay, now let's talk about that rumored post-credit scene. The Thunderbolts have just finished their mission. Everyone's bruised, bleeding, emotionally scarred, basically a Marvel group hug waiting to happen. The team limps out, bickering, exhausted, probably still traumatized from trying to keep Sentry from cracking open the planet like an egg. And then it happens, an alert. Something's entering the atmosphere. Everyone looks up. A ship. But not just any ship. This thing doesn't scream war or chaos. It's elegant, clean, almost hopeful. It glides in like it's above all this messy, gritty drama. And on its side, a single symbol, the number 4. Boom. That's it, a logo. And it says everything. It's the MCU saying, we know you're tired. We know you've been through it. But here's your light at the end of the tunnel. It's not just a teaser, it's a tonal pivot. After years of grimacing through trauma-laced missions and emotionally stunted reunions, we finally get a glimpse of something different. Something that doesn't come from tragedy, but from purpose, from connection. This isn't a team built by shadowy figures or shady government contracts. It's not a revenge squad or a redemption arc. It's a family stepping into a broken world to show us how to rebuild it. And the timing couldn't be more poetic. Right after 2 hours of Thunderbolt's dysfunction, watching a team implode under the weight of its own emotional baggage, we're gifted this vision of unity. It's Marvel saying, this era of pain, it's not the end, it's the turning point. That one moment, that single number, is the MCU planting a flag in the future. A future that looks up instead of in, that builds instead of survives, that connects instead of isolates. The Thunderbolts were the storm. The Fantastic Four are the calm after. And that's not just smart storytelling. That's Marvel rediscovering its soul. Let's get something straight. There is a huge difference between a team and a family. And Marvel is finally leaning into that distinction in the biggest way possible. Teams? They have contracts, missions, end dates. The Avengers assembled when there was a world-ending threat. Then they disassembled. The Guardians were strangers turned squad mates. Even the Thunderbolts were shoved together like leftovers in a government fridge sealed with guilt and trauma tape. But the Fantastic Four? They were a family before they had powers. Reed Richards and Sue Storm are married. Johnny Storm is Sue's hot-headed younger brother. Ben Grimm is Reed's college best friend. More like a grumpy uncle at this point. When they were hit with cosmic radiation, they didn't just gain powers. They were bound together forever. And yeah, they argue a lot. Johnny's reckless. Reed gets lost in his science projects. Ben literally hates how he looks now. But unlike the Thunderbolts, who might kill each other mid-mission, these people love each other like it's non-negotiable. Because here's the thing about real families. They fight, they fracture, but they don't fall apart. That's the emotional core the MCU has been missing. The Avengers broke over ideology in Civil War. They shattered under grief in Endgame. The Thunderbolts? They barely count as a team, let alone a family. But the Fantastic Four? They're not held together by contracts or missions. They're held together by history, by blood, by love. Their superpower isn't stretching or fire or turning into a boulder, it's resilience. They don't just save the world, they argue over dinner plans while saving it. Even when things fall apart, they keep showing up for each other. They're grounded, even when they're exploring alternate dimensions. And that's exactly what the MCU needs right now. Not just heroes who punch things harder, but heroes who stay together when everything gets hard. Because in a universe filled with loners, soldiers, and orphans, the Fantastic Four aren't just a team, they're the answer. The arrival of the Fantastic Four isn't just a hype moment, it's a full-blown reset button for the entire MCU. Why? Because for the last few years, Marvel's been stuck in survival mode. Everything's been reactive. Heroes fighting to make sense of chaos, fix timelines, process trauma, or literally hold the multiverse together with duct tape and sarcasm. But the Fantastic Four don't exist to fix broken things. They exist to explore, to discover, to build. They are scientists, pioneers. Their powers didn't come from vengeance or violence, they came from curiosity. A space mission gone wrong, and that origin changes everything. Their purpose isn't revenge, it's wonder. This shift from grit to imagination, from survival to aspiration, is exactly what the MCU needs to move forward. It's Marvel saying, we've looked inward long enough, now it's time to look outward again. And Marvel knows it. The marketing for the new Fantastic Four film leans hard into this tone. Future-facing heroic optimism. The vibe, bright, bold, hopeful. Even the costumes feel retro-futuristic, like they stepped out of a utopian sci-fi dream. This isn't just about setting up Galactus, or Kang, or whatever cosmic threat comes next. It's about recentering the entire emotional core of the franchise. We've spent years watching characters heal. Now we get to watch them thrive. Reed and Sue raising kids while also navigating wormholes, Johnny chasing adventure like a cosmic golden retriever, Ben trying to live with his new form while still being the team's heart and soul. They remind us what heroism looks like when it isn't born from tragedy, but from love, purpose, and a desire to explore the unknown. In short, they bring the MCU back to life. They're not just Marvel's first family in name, they are its emotional foundation. And now that foundation is finally being laid right when we need it most. So, now that the Fantastic Four is officially in theaters, we can finally say it. This is the rebirth Marvel needed. The Thunderbolts weren't the future, they were the final page of a dark chapter. A team stitched together from regret, rage, and survival instincts. And they showed us what happens when heroism loses its heart. But now, we've seen what comes next. The Fantastic Four didn't just land in the MCU, they restored it. They brought back hope, stability, and emotional gravity that we've been missing since Endgame. They didn't show up to avenge, they showed up to explore, to protect, to build, and most importantly, to do it together. After years of wandering through fractured timelines and broken teams, we finally have a family again. One that argues, yes. One that struggles, but one that never lets go. Their arrival isn't just exciting, it's healing. And it marks the most important tonal pivot the MCU has made in years. We're not watching Marvel fall apart anymore. We're watching it come back together, one cosmic step at a time. If you've seen Fantastic Four already, let me know your favorite moment in the comments. No spoilers, just love. And if you haven't, this movie just might be the heart transplant the entire MCU needed. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next timeline.